Not exactly a vlog, but doing a quick cleanup. But I guess I'll give you a quick 25-second tour of the room. This is my work lab. So they got benches and stuff. There's some of my con badges. Let me get back to cons. Maybe I got to redo one or two. I had a double-sided version of this guy, so the single-sided version's got to be the original. So I need to get one remade. I think I had the artwork on the computer. I usually print it out on really thick paper so it doesn't flex. But I think it's in my, I think it's in one of my boxes somewhere, probably my Drake suit. Um, Actually, the Drake suit box wasn't in there. I'll take a look at it today. Okay, so I just got up, I'm cleaning up the place a little bit. There's some stuff outside. I brought some plush outside because someone says a good idea if it's been in the room for a very long time and may have developed mildew or whatever from the moisture. I got some anti-moisture packs coming in, so I'm slipping it inside of all the bags. That stuff has saved my fursuit. I use they use them in gun cases to reduce rusting. So I'm doing that. I found a few cases that are sealed that I probably need to add some of those too because I think the metal I have some metal objects. So a friend of mine told me you could put vinegar, so I actually need to run to the store to get some vinegar and some bags today because I was going to take something that looks metal-ish, and as long as they're tools, they say you can throw it in vinegar to sort of clean them up and then wash them out real good because that does removes the rust, but what I think it does is kills the rust bacteria. There's a bacteria growing on rust, and I didn't know that because it grows in dark places as well. I have another toolbox in the closet I need to dig out sometime during this spring, the orange one, and I think it's got the same problem. Stuff is rusted inside of it, and I did put anti-moisture packs in them, so I'm gonna have to get some more anti-moisture packs. But I've also discovered that this closet tends to have moisture. My dad thinks it's actually the the ventilation problem, but it's I've always taken a shower here for the last 10 years almost, and it's only picked up worse now since we have a gardening outside, so I'm pretty sure there's a root or something that grown in and depositing moisture in the wall somewhere. So, because I'm in the lower level, um, the next part of the room, there's the bathroom, is this is the bedroom. I've gotten stuff pulled out of the closet. They had some funky smells, but because I had a lot of bag stuff and inflatables, you don't smell them because they're plastic, so they actually isolate. So I'm now learning to bag and tag things. There's certain things I would have kept the bag in its original condition, like the Godzilla, for example, is a really cool toy. I think I have a spare of this guy, but I had the old 1980 6-foot Godzilla toy. It's kind of one of my favorites. That started it all. No, yeah, there's bags of other squeaks that probably haven't broken yet, but I'll probably inflate them sometime and lay them out and see which ones are still good. Actually, I should ask a friend of mine who wants that Drakey because he's got a bad wings. But there's some of my toys down there, and so I'm going through a bunch of stuff. Last time I sorted stuff out from cardboard boxes and put them in tubs like these, and threw in threw in and in those tubs I believe I threw in the what you call it moisture anti-moisture packs. Boxes are pretty good at anti-moisture, but they're also, as soon as you get them wet, they're pretty much shot. Even if you dry them out, they usually next time they get a little bit of moisture, they are pretty much gone. That's why I've got a few of those older toys wrapped in bags because they may have been in situations where there may have been moisture before, and because it just takes a small amount of moisture, anything above 50%. I got to look up the chart now. I'll put the chart I'll put on here. Above 25-30%, you have a chance of mold growth after about 100 days to 200 days, which is about a half a year, which explains why I've been developing the funky smells after 6 months. So even though I cleaned all the shirts and tried to, that's another problem too. The only way to really kill mold on clothing is to put it in the dryer, but it ruins the clothes too as well. It makes it all messed up. But yeah, that's and then of course I get complaints that I didn't clean the lint trap out since we have a weird lint trap. But um, because between the two, that's why I'm kind of going through my shirt collection in here, and this is what you'll see. Some costume stuff in there. There's a modified. Actually, now they make them with the wings attached, but there's some modified Spyro Kigu, and then a few Spyro Kigu's tail, Drake's tail that I made. get one or two in the closet. At least vinyl lasts a long time. I like them, unless you puncture them somehow. Pretty easy, but actually these ones actually hold up pretty well, so I have a box of them, so I might bring them to cons and just give them out. I wish I made them squeaky, not jingly. There's a jingler in them, you can hear. Should have made them squeaky instead. The jingler actually seizes up, I think, after time. Should have put a squeaker, but they couldn't fit one because I think the spikes were too small, or there's no chamber to put a squeaker in, so they end up with a jingly. But yeah, there's my shirt collection, so they're all tight in there. There's some slight funky smells, but yeah, so it developed over time. What I should have done, and it'll take me forever to do this time around, but it may be an opportunity to get some more trash bags, the smallest ones possible, and take each shirt out and put a bag between each one. The idea of that is that when I buy shirts, they do come into a nice bag, but the problem is that then you can't take a picture of it, and they're paying the full bag to put in the bag. So I just take them out, put them onto a coat hanger, and then stick them in the closet, which generally is fine, but when you develop moisture, you'll get that musky smell, because I haven't really been in here that often, maybe once a year. When I was doing a lot of the cons, this didn't have any boxes in here, and I actually was going in and out of here at least once a month, so I guess there was circulation of air. So between that, you got the attic problem. So I'm in the process of cleaning all of that up, and hopefully today, get some gloves on, get through the bottom of there with a flashlight. Because I went in there last year and felt something sticky, and then all of a sudden I realized, shoot, I don't got time for this. So I just threw it in a bag and then shoved everything back in front of it and walked off. This year I'm actually going to go through there. Last year's the same thing with my racks that you saw in the other room. Before I had those racks there was boxes, and when I moved the boxes, I found black mold growing underneath all the box. Now, we had water damage almost 3 years ago, but it was in this room where the bed is at. So I had to replace the bed, and we tore up the entire wall, the whole wall on the backside where everything is at, and we remodeled it. And then we found out 6 months later another pipe burst somewhere behind this wall where my computer's at. So I've been in nexus of more problems in this house, to the point where it's destroyed a lot of my personal belongings, to the point where I may be moving out of collecting, but I'm also watching stock markets and stuff. Someone suggested today might be a good day to sell because it's before noon and I can do a quick sell off and just recap whatever I got before any losses there and keep moving forward. I've also got a few toys that a few people are interested in. One of them is in really good condition, manufacturer fresh, and someone offered me nearly $1,000 for it, so I might even just let that one go. And because having all this stuff is great. I mean, you can see stuff up to the ceiling, but the problem is I need a bigger place, and then I need to inventory it correctly. When I inventory, then I know exactly what I have, and maybe two of certain items. My mistake is when I did the shirt collection, I should have kept the second one in the bag and kept it in storage. Now, storage could also be infected because I had bigger plushes that filled up my entire bed, and they all went to storage. So there's a good chance that one of them may have gotten in there, unless you know anyone knows anyone of plush restoration. I'm willing to pay for some of my really nice ones to get it restored if I can, and then maybe donate the rest or sell it off. Some of them are kind of known ones, but there's some custom stuff I've done. Like one of them was the Slackworm character. I made a life-size version of him. The artist said it was okay to do if it was for myself, and I says yeah, because I really think Drakey needs another dragon. So I made one, but I forgot who was the maker, but it was someone on Etsy and offered to do it, so I did it privately and made some really odd stuff like that. But yeah, there's my nutshell of my squeak storage number one. There's a bigger storage off-site from here. I've got boxes of stuff to go through. My never finished tale. I might consider listing 2 more of those Rathies since I have extras. I usually keep the first 2. I don't know what it is, but it's always, when you get something from the manufacturer, you open up the first and last box. The last box is they'll put any hidden notes or invoices in, while the first box is always where you'll almost guaranteed not to have any flawed toys or any mistakes. Like seams, everything are all lined. I guess this when they were making it, they were testing it or whatever. The first ones were the ones that they tested, and then they repack those, and then the rest they pack. So I don't know what the cause of that. But anyhow, there's my Vblog for this week of third week of August. And probably, as you can see, my room is full of Dergs, dragons, more dragons, 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 dragons. And there's probably more, but heck, like I said, as soon as I can get a place of my own to make this possible, or place of my own to be with someone who actually is not on throwing stuff out just because it looks bad or they're tired of it, um, I would definitely get my house to look like a Derg lair and put proper shelving in. Every room of the house is going to be dragon themed. Heck, I've even got. I'll look again. It'll probably be much harder to find now, but I know where to talk to the wholesale guy. Maybe run a shop and sell the access. But what I like to do is at least one of the bathroom will have a castle themed and in there in it, because you can get a bunch of stuff that were houseware products. They probably don't last as long, but if it's a guest bathroom, it would probably make sense. But then again, the guests will probably never use it, so. Other than that, I'm off to Burning Man in 1 week, and all right, so we can try to figure that out, and we'll do other stuff then. So I'll hopefully make another update. I'll be on a different phone starting next week, because I will put some messages out to text me on another phone, because I'll have a burner phone just in case I lose this one at Burning Man. My goal is maybe leave this one here and connect a remote app to it and relay off of that app to connect at a remote internet. The only downside is that I might not be able to do two-factor, so I got to figure that out for a second to see if I could do that. If not, I'll take this phone with me, throw it in a Ziploc bag, and I'll stay in the bottom of my car once we leave Carson City, or whatever direction we're heading up there. Because I think we're due to leave up there Friday night, get there Saturday. He's going to said it's going to do a 12-hour drive. I don't know how he could do that, but I guess if I follow him, I can always radio him or call him when I'm tired, take a break, and keep moving until we get there Saturday afternoon. And then when we get there, we'll set up pitch tents, and I might take a nap in the tent itself if it's not terribly hot. But once we get set up, they said it'd take about an hour to set up, which is bullshit. It's probably going to be all Sunday. But honestly, I might tear down on Wednesday, because I don't know if I really want to be a Burning Man, because I'd rather be at even a motel is better. But at least amongst friends, you have a little more closure feeling, or new friends. Hopefully, don't get robbed or anything like that. But I'm just more sensitive these days to being out. So, anyhow, there's my project and my update. Bye.